welcome. My name is Teresa, and in this video, I'm going to show you why there is a little pocket on the inside of this card. So let me go ahead and turn it around, and ooh, what a pretty card. Anyhow, if this is your first time visiting our channel, do us a favor, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. And while you're at it, click on that bell icon right next to it. That way you'll be notified when we post our next video. But in the meantime, why don't you go ahead and grab yourself a drink? I have some sweet tea. Pull up a chair and let's go ahead and get started. That's always good. All right, so the outside of this card, it says, the journey of life is best shared with a friend. We'll get through this together. My intent behind this card was, I'm going to explain the pocket while I do it. Let's say you want to make a pound cake or a pan of brownies or some muffins, whatever it is, and you show up at your friend's house with that. You know they're going to want the recipe, right? Of course they are. Well, this card holds a 3x5 recipe card. It also holds the ingredients for making this card. So let me go ahead and pull out that card and we're going to get started, but just take a look at this beauty. Now, if you look closely, we are using a couple of different stamp sets. The first one we're going to use is the Good Morning Magnolia, and this was a two-part stamp set. We're going to take the greeting, the journey of life is best shared, or wait a minute, the journey of life is best shared with a friend. We'll get through this together. I want to say that's this one. Yep, so we need that. Pop that off to the side. This time, shockingly enough, we're going to create our own printed paper. So we want the small magnolia from this one. And that's all we need from that set. Then I am pulling in a retired stamp set. I'm sorry, but this was from the last catalog. I loved it and we're going to use it. We're pulling in that gorgeous bumblebee from the honeybee set. If you happen to have it, go ahead. This is a great use for it. So we'll need not only the bumblebee, we're going to need the die cut for that bumblebee. So we are all ready. Oops, I keep moving everything. All right. Now the first thing, as far as the papers and things that you're going to need, you're going to want a 10 by 5.5 piece of the Pear Pizzazz, okay? And what you're going to want to do is you're going to score it. Well, I had it the correct way the first time. You're going to put it down and score it on the 10. You're going to score it at 4 inches. And then you're going to score it over here at 2 inches. I'm sorry, at 8 inches. So again, lay it on the 10, score it at 4 and at 8. And just get it nice and folded up. Then you want to cut out of that Pear Pizzazz. You're also going to, well, you don't want to cut, you want to just set aside a scrap piece. This scrap piece should be big enough to hold the Stitch So Sweetly that we'll use. So anyhow, let's just do that. You need 2 pieces of white paper. So go ahead and cut 2 pieces of Whisper White. They're the same sizes. It should measure 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So you need that. And you'll also need, all right, I said we need that scrap. We're gonna need a smaller piece of the scrap white to stamp the bee, and then another piece of scrap to do that label. All right, so we need all that. The first thing I think I wanna do is let's just put all of this aside for now. And we're gonna jump right into showing you how to create our own designer series paper. Now, usually I have recyclable paper in my recyclable trash can I keep right here, but for some reason I don't today. We must have emptied it. So I'm going to just take a scrap sheet of loose leaf paper, and I'm going to use that as my backdrop. And I'm going to go ahead and put this beautiful magnolia on a stamping block. I am going to stamp it with Old Olive. I think that works beautifully. And I'm going to just show you what I'm going to do. It won't look exactly like this. I'm going to do my best, but hey, this is freehand stuff here. So this is not full color. Let me show you a full color. See, nice and dark. This is not that. So while I stamped it on, stamp it off, press it. I wanted it a little lighter. And just get a rhythm going. But now look. Isn't that pretty? See, you can make your own. You run out of designer series paper, you don't have designer series paper, whatever. We can make our own background printed paper. Let me put that in the recyclable bin. Okay, pop that off to the side. I don't know why I did that. I do that all the time. We're going to need it again. This time we're going to take our bumblebee and that scrap sheet of white paper. I want the smaller one. Yes, I don't know why I second guess myself constantly, but I do. Pull back the olive again. Remind me to keep it out. I need to stamp 2 more things. Anyhow, this one I want the full intensity of color. And the beauty of this is if you don't like what you see on the one side, you can always turn it over. I like that. Oh, you're like, but Teresa, that's very different colors. You will see why later on. I'm not going to divulge that secret right now. Okay, and then of course I need a block to stamp this guy, but it's okay. And I'm going to figure this out. This appears to be using, I think, the 3rd one. Let me just double check. Daggone, I'm good at this. Okay, so in your Stitch So Sweetly, you want the 3rd largest die to do the bee, and I do want to stamp them kind of on an angle. All right, I got it. I got it. I got it. Ink it up. Ink it up. Ink it up. Stamp it on an angle. Oh, that's not as dark as I'd like, but I think I'm going to go with it. And while that's drying, I'm going to position where I want it. I want it at an angle. I do. And it's okay that it's stamped lighter. I don't have a problem with that. If you have some of these Post-it notes, these are perfect for running it through the die cut machine. I do keep some handy right there. I'm going to grab my bee die cut while I'm at it. Position that where I want it to cut. Hope I didn't reach in front of you. Okay, and pop that right down. So I have to run that through my big shot, that through my big shot. Now this, I want the 2nd largest Stitch So Sweetly. Oh, I can get this off, I promise. The 2nd largest Stitch So Sweetly rectangle. This is magnetic. That's fine. For a piece of that Pear Pizzazz. And why not? Since I'm at it, let's just take another one just to be sure. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this up. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over to my big shot. I'm going to run them all through and I will be right back. All right, so we have that, we have that, we have that. Let's start some assembly. The first thing I want you to see is this is how it's going to be. So let's go ahead and put this piece down. You are so close to being done, it's not even funny. Now for this, I think what we're going to do is play around with that a bit. Let's see, do we like that? What do you think? Do you like that? Yeah, I think that'll work, don't you? All right, so let's go ahead and apply some glue on the back of your Pear Pizzazz label that we kind of did. Again, don't go too close to the edges. And I don't have to follow it. I mean, you could if you want, you could do it this way. I just kind of liked the off-centered of it, off-centeredness, the whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. Okay, and now let's get some glue on this one. All right. That one, it looks like we just did this. Again, doesn't have to be exact. You could use dimensionals on this if you wanted to pop that up. I did not because I did not want to pop it up. Now, before I adhere this, yes, I hope you can see this on camera. There is a difference. That's because I put, what do you think I put on it? If you've seen the other videos, you know, Wink of Stella. And I'm going to do that with this one. Let's see if we get that same color change. Yes, see what happens? It adds this gorgeous shimmer. And my bee is gonna shimmer. I'm gonna try to be a little bit better and just put it over that instead of having it bleed. And my little bee has some nice shimmer. Notice I'm saying shimmer, not glitter. It's shimmer. Look at that. I know. I think it's so pretty. So pretty, so pretty, so pretty. And then pull a Stampin Dimensional. And I'm just going to put one of these on the back of this guy. I probably should let it dry a little bit more, but I'm not gonna. See, I'm putting him right in the center. Peel that off. Let's go ahead and position him. Some people, you might want to curl the wings if you give it more dry time. That would be fine. Oh, look, 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 look. Now you could go ahead and add some pearls, those little tiny pearls if you wanted to. I'm not going to. Again, I'm going to leave it just as it is. But how adorable is this? Now you're asking yourself, okay, Teresa, so before you came on screen, you had that card in there. Show us that it will really work. Okay. Challenge accepted. This is the old one. I'm going to leave it right there so you know. Here's my 3x5 card with my instructions. I'm going to open it. Watch. You might have to finagle it, but this is live. Look at that. Nice and tucked in. Isn't that pretty? And that's unedited, completely there. Look at that. Oh, go ahead and take a second, do a screenshot, and have a little sip of tea. And again, if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe. Click on that bell icon right next to it so you're notified when we post the next video. And while you're at it, if you learned anything, got inspired, just enjoyed it, whatever, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much for joining us. Oh, and be sure, go on over to Facebook and check out Stamping and Sipping with Tea. Till next time, thank you so much for watching.